Before I start, I would like to disabuse our minds. There was a comment made by one of us that we have been speaking and speaking and speaking for so many years. I assure you it is better to speak than for guns to be fired. Ukraine and Russia have been fighting for the past almost 4 years, I think now, yes, or 3 years. Right now, they are supposed to be speaking in Turkey. Whether those talks are going on, I wouldn't know. But the fact is that there is no war that has ever been finished without people speaking. So we must continue to speak with ourselves. The difference is that when we come to speak, are we coming with the belief that we are ready to agree, to have peace and move forward, like Major Gongu said, or you just want to just come and listen to the talk shop? If we have been speaking for 24 years and nothing has happened, then that means that we have not been sincere to ourselves as a people. That is just the fact. 20-something years we have been speaking. Someone said that you have been speaking 300 times. So for those 300 times, you couldn't find a solution. The problem is with us. So let us first of all agree that we are all human beings. Human life is sacred, and human lives must not be taken for whatever reason. We all agree with that. Whether it is an indigent, a Fulani man, whoever it is, human life is sacred. So once we come with a common purpose that we are coming to speak and agree to live in peace, we are going to achieve a lot. Because we go back, the crisis continues again, somebody destroys a farmland, somebody kills a cattle, and so many things. Well, this thing keeps on going over and over and over again. Now, it is pertinent to state that there are crisis merchants who are benefiting from all this. When one of the youth spoke and said one of the things that triggered this was somebody was coming from a mining site and was shot. There are two stories to this. Someone says it was an armed robbery attack, and that person said it was Fulani. But one thing that we should realize is that the gentleman who said it said he was coming from a mining site. Mining is illegal and banned. So that person was doing something wrong in the first place. However, it has looked so normal that he was coming from a mining site. So in the first place, let us not do wrong things, because if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, wrong things will happen. Mining is banned. And until it is regulated and the ban lifted, nobody is supposed to be mining. Now, with this crisis that has happened, of course, yes, our focus has now shifted to making sure that communities are safe. And some people are now having the opportunity to carry out this illegal mining. This is the way crisis merchants keep on trying to cause confusion so that they benefit illicitly from all these issues, and the community bears the brunt for this. And this will stop. Now, I will always call on everybody that there's a need for peace. Where there are criminals, let us fish out the criminals and pass the information to us. Before I continue, I'm going to give out my number now, so please, you can bring out your phones and take down the number. If you have any information or anything whatsoever, you can send me a message, you can call me, you can send anything on WhatsApp. My number is 0813 615 3813. I say again, but the people have to be alive to enjoy the land. Somebody came and said we should tell ourselves the truth. You said so many things, but you did not tell us the truth. We're here to listen to ourselves. So whatever it is, let's know what it is. It's okay, it's my number, so you can, no need to try again. You are sure you have the number. There's something I want to also mention. There were issues I was spoken about, foreign herders coming in. That is true. I would like to request that the local government chairman look into the possibility of having biometric capture of everybody in their local government areas. Not just the Fulanis, but everybody, so that it's not discriminatory. Once you have this, the same thing, you can actually now use it, build your database, and have the cattle that people have. And once this is done, it is easy to know when people come in. And once you have foreign herders or anybody who is a stranger, not even just herders, we've had situations of armed robbers coming in from Kaduna, coming in from Zaria that we're able to take care of. So it is not just the Fulani people, but a lot of criminals come in to take advantage of all this, including illegal miners. So I will implore that please look into this, see how you can have a database of everybody in your local government, having a biometric capture, which you can now use for your purpose. This incident started with the one of the issues, the cattle rustling on Monday, from around Barrack Ladi to Riom. I actually went there myself, and a lot of cows were rustled. We were able to recover a good number, but the issue was that some people took advantage of that. Why is it that some cows are stolen, and before you know it, they have entered one building and they have slaughtered them, they have butchered them? That is theft. Somebody is actually stealing. The fact is that there are always bad eggs anywhere. As it is said, out of every 12, there's one Judas. So if you look at our number, you know exactly how much criminals we can have among ourselves. And it takes just one person. Let's assume, like someone mentioned, we had peace for 10 years from 2001 to 2010. And then one criminal somewhere starts going to steal cows. He steals 1, 2, 3. Of course, one person is bitter. And then that person on his own part, rather than reporting to security agencies, decides to take laws into his hands and goes against someone else. And before you know it, things start escalating. And before you know it, it has gotten to a stage that we can no longer speak to ourselves. And then the killings begin, the cattle rustling continues, the destruction of farmlands. It is unnecessary. At the end of the day, the quality of life is lost. We must learn to live amongst ourselves. We must learn to live peacefully with ourselves. Children have been born in the last 24 years into conflicts, and the only thing they have known is conflict. Like our royal father said, back in the days, our families, Christian, Muslim, indigenous, herder, everything, we looked forward to celebrate festive seasons, because we will know we'll go to someone else's house and eat a special kind of food, a special kind of rice. It was something children look forward to. How did it stop? That's part of what the problems. And why can't it start again? We have identified that yes, it has stopped, but who will now start inviting the other person, looking at the other person like a brother, like family, and starts? And before you know it, rather than having the escalation of hostilities, why can't we have the escalation of peace and have us finding ways to do good things and kind things to one another? These are things that we must do. Someone spoken about the weak judicial system. Well, I have had an intense discussion with the Commissioner of Justice, and as much as possible, they will make sure that the things are being done rightly. I will also implore the local government chairman to, in conjunction with the sector commander and community leaders, look at how we can have a committee comprising of the farmers, the herders, because there will be infractions, that can look into all these things, so that if someone's farm is trampled upon, we can assess it, work out a compensation, that person is paid. If something happens to cattle, compensation should be paid. And once this happens, I want to assure you that if you are able to do this for 3 months consecutively, there won't be any problems again. But these are things that we must look into. Additionally, it doesn't have to be the GOC to call a stakeholders meeting. We can call meetings down the ladder. Even if you have your own hamlet of 3, 4, 5 houses, as long as you have different people, come together, even if you are just 10, and speak. And you'll be amazed at how much can be achieved by speaking. So on this note, I equally want to call on the traditional rulers, the local government chairman, the sector commanders do this, but at all levels, always call everyone together and speak regularly. When you speak, you're able to say, this is what is the problem and how can we address it? What can actually be addressed by maybe just paying 10,000 naira is what snowballs into situations where people are now taking their lives. And that must equally stop. Our children too, like I said, they're being brought up in this terrible crisis. We must also stop transferring the hatred, the deep-rooted disappointments and whatever it is to our children. Like Major Ngugo also said, you never heard our parents in those days talking bad about the other people. So why is it now getting to the stage that we're now doing this? So we must bring up our children in the way that everybody can live in peace. Additionally, there are the issues of having underage grazing. Underage grazing is banned, and the sector commander ensure that when this happens at any time, those things should be stopped immediately. The cattle kept until somebody can come and build them. And then it's also part of the things. They now say the children are carrying out, giving terrible words when grazing, being belligerent. It's all part of it. Let us train our children to always be respectful. There's not, I know it can be very annoying. You see somebody who is 10, 11 speaking to somebody who is almost 70 in very, very rude manners. But nonetheless, we shouldn't allow those kind of things to escalate into situations that we cannot overcome. When we go back to our communities, please, we're taking this back. The spirit and the way you take this back is what matters. If we go back and we speak positively, that we went, we had a positive meeting, and for us to live together, to us to live peacefully, these are the things that we must do. If you go back and speak in that way, there will be progress. Like I said, the issue is we do not believe that these stock shops is going to solve the problem. And if we don't believe in it, it will not. The fact is, we cannot kill ourselves. Everybody will not die. Even if the military leaves and we start killing ourselves, we're not going to kill everybody. And in the very, very random event that everybody is killed, then somebody from somewhere else who has absolutely no idea will now come and inherit everything. As they say, when two brothers fight over their father's property, it is a stranger that will come and inherit it. So please, let's always realize that we can talk to ourselves and achieve much. In that place, latest by Monday. So sector commander, let me know what it will take and clear that place. That place must be clear for people to pass. For the women leader who came to speak, I want to assure you that women will never ever have to fight for our land. We, the men, will always protect you, and the security agencies are there to protect you. There's always the common thing that is said that, yes, the armed forces go outside Nigeria and excel. That is true. The fact is that we're equally doing the same thing here. When we're outside the country, the enemy is known. But inside Nigeria, the enemy is within us here. And there's nobody that's enemy is written on his forehead. Even within us here, there are people who give information to the adversaries. And also, we are fighting a different kind of war. There was a situation that they were able to monitor the way a lot of these people build up. And one of the things that they do, they never stay in one place. For instance, one motorcycle takes off from Sanga, carrying 3 people. As it keeps on going, it gets to another community, another motorcycle comes. They get there, by the time they get to Riom, there are about 20 motorcycles. By the time they get to Jos, they have become 50 motorcycles, all carrying 3 people. They go to where they want to do their harm, carry out that harm, and then turn back. And before you know it, in 30 minutes, everybody has disappeared. Same place they have where they all go and hide their weapons. Not in one place, in different places. And that is why we need you as the community to always pass the information to us. If you see something, say something. Let us know. You always come and say, we know who they are, we know who they are. But you never tell us, well, at least now you have my number. Please pass any information that you want, that you feel you can. I will not trace your number. Pass that information and I assure you that something will be done about it. I also agree, yes, women and children are the ones that bear the brunt of all these issues. It's most unfortunate, but we will keep on ensuring that we're putting our best until this thing is put to a stop, finally. Yes, Alhaji Bello Adamu said something very, very instructive. We need to draw a line. We need to forgo the past. It is not easy, but you need to do it at one point. Where are we going to keep on going back and forth with these cycles of violence? The answer is no. Everybody here knows somebody who has died, somebody who has been killed, or a family member. The pain is deep, the pain is much, but it is not by killing more people that will cause or creating the situation for more people to be killed that will make us get out of all this. So it is extremely important that all this stop. Sometimes we have communities shielding criminals, especially mining. We've had situations where there are people who are mining, we are going after them, and then women come almost naked to prevent us. Of course, we cannot attack the women, but why would you do that? These people are criminals. And it is one little thing that goes and causes another problem. The fact, like I said, is mining is illegal. Mining is banned. It is bringing in quick money right now. The crisis that it can cause is unquantifiable. Our children are no longer going to school because they are mining. One day, the mining will be over. And if they have not prepared for the future, that means we're equally breeding criminals that will cause problems in the future because there will be nothing to mine, there will be no money coming in, and what they will resort to is becoming criminals. So we must equally make sure we talk to our wards that education is key, they must go back to school, and this Pyrrhic victory of having mining and making some quick bucks out of this is just for a period. It is going to stop eventually. Solutions to the crisis that we have been talking about. That is the major issue, and I want to thank the Bongre for bringing that up. What are the solutions? We've said a lot, but what are the solutions? And like someone spoke about the MOU, I agree with that. There should be an MOU, and I want to implore the local government chairman, the traditional rulers, and the sector commanders to come up with how we agree to live together. And then the leaders of the communities should come together, sign the MOU, and we will implement it. So when that is coming up, we should look at what is to be signed and the implementation timelines, what is supposed to be doing, how we're supposed to implement it, so that once something, we don't follow a timeline, we know that we're not implementing it to the letter. And then we can do something about that immediately. Designated as holy sites by the communities. If there any place that is a holy site, by no means should grazing take place in that place. This is for the sector commanders. So take very good note about that. Sustain peace, it must be done by the communities and everyone in the communities. And the way we can do this is agreeing to live together, agreeing to be peaceful, and ensuring that we speak to ourselves from time to time. Even if a farm is destroyed, cattle are rustled, there is somebody who is in charge, and there's somebody who has the cattle or who has the farm. We must be able to speak to ourselves, and then that committee I'm talking about for compensation should be able to step in and let's see what can be done. Indeed, it is very, very painful for somebody to, yes, have till his land, buy fertilizer, and do so many things, and then at the point of harvest, that farm is destroyed. Likewise, it is also very painful if somebody has cattle, brought up some cows from when they were young, they're almost like family, almost like children, and then those things are slaughtered, just like that. So everybody has the pain that he's feeling. As they say, it's the person that wears the shoe that knows how it pinches. So a farm is destroyed, somebody feels the pain. Cattle are killed or rustled, somebody feels the pain. But the result is not for you to take laws into your hands, but ensure that you follow established procedures to be able to ensure that you report to the security agencies, and then I assure you the right thing will be done.